Hi, and I am going to paint the forest picture that I have here. It's more of a reference photo that I studied on how to paint real life forests, and I chose a purple color for this painting of the forest because I want to paint something a little bit more different. But I do copy the layout and all that. So I have here is this image of a purple forest, and as you can see from the image, the light source is coming out from the top left of the canvas, and so as the shadows of the trees are, you can see the cast shadow of the tree is going towards this direction, a diagonal direction, because of the light source of this picture. And then as you can here is the horizon line of this whole canvas is about the center, where here is the path, kind of a path inside the forest, and and the other elements is this kind of grass shaped on the ground. And here is the tree. This is actually the tree, and I try to draw it as simple as possible because I was kind of studying this reference photo, and I paint out this forest image, and I do learn a couple of different things. First is about the shadows. If the light source is over here, okay, and I can start to paint the cast shadows of the tree according to the light source, as you can see here, which I don't normally uh, remember in my painting to do so. And I do hope this actually gives me a lot of practice. And now I'm using Ibis Paint X to paint this forest painting, though I'm still quite happy about it. And so now let's go through what brush I used in Ibis Paint to paint this painting. Here I have painting of, for the brushes I am using pen fade to color in the base color of this uh, purple color, and I use the leaves just to give it the ground a texture of kind of grassy terrain. And then I am also using airbrush to color in the shadows over here. You can see the shadows, and also the light source from here. I am using a airbrush. Here is the folders for all of these elements I have inside the painting. Let's first see, this is the sky. Okay, this is the blue color sky, and there are some gradient to it, and this is the light source where, let me see. Oh, this is kind of a bit of a gradient towards the bottom. It's kind of a light blue. And then for this light source is as this layer 9. I can drag. Okay, let's bring the layer 9 up so it's more bright. The layer 9, the light source is, I set it to screen, and I use an airbrush to brush in this light source. And let's see now for the forest. I have many different elements. The refine is the refined sketch of the forest illustration drawing, and this is the path. So first I have the base layer. I use in the pen fit, and then for the clipping mask layer I used this coarse pencil to give in some textures to the path. That's the path layer. And for the base layer I use the thing is the pencil, no, I think it's the texture pen. No, it's still the coarse pencil to brush in the base for the kind of the grass and moss, or for the grass terrain. And then the next layer is all of the leaves that I painted this brush. Let's go to the tree layer. This is the base layer. I paint in the purple color. This would be the shadows and the highlights using the airbrush, and this layer is the cast shadow of the tree, which is following the light source that is coming towards from the top left. So you can't see this now, but this is the adjustment layer which I use in the filter, which is the HSL and the color balance. Now let's go over to the video player, and I'm going to show you how I paint the purple forest. Okay, let's start the video. I start out to oh shit. I think this is when I tried to test out some things in horizontal landscape, and here now I start out to draw in the layout and the forest from a reference photo. Though I do learned quite a bit how to place the trees and how to draw a tree shape, and and I try to refine the drawing using a colored pencil to purple color, because I am using a purple monochromatic color for this painting. So I start painting in the base color for the grass terrain. And I paint continue to paint the purple base color for the trees. And I continue to paint the sky. It's more towards the green color, and I blend in some different tone of the highlights of green for the sky, and goes the same for the leaves. Where I'm just using the leaves for the grass terrain, cause is quite look like a grass as well. And then the leaves also consist of different shades and tones of purple, and here I trying out to draw in the shadows and highlights for the trees to make the form, to make a lighting form. And I draw in the outline for the cast shadow for each tree, and I started to paint it in a much more darker purple. Okay, so this is the final painting. For the shadows, I set it to multiply, and I used. Let's go over to Ibis. For this, just explaining for this cast shadow that I did here in this layer. As you can see, I am using for, let's go to the tree folder. This is where I set it to multiply and opacity to about to 80%, and I use the filter of blur, which is this motion moving blur filter, because I think it's look much more effective. Yeah, that is how I paint a purple forest from a reference photo. Thank you. I see you in the next video.